Hello everyone, my name's Katie Ewers. I'm a careers advisor and a professional life coach, and I'm here to talk to you today about another video on my self-discovery series. It's Multiple Intelligence by Howard Gardner. Now he's a PhD, so he should be Dr. Howard Gardner, and he works at one of the prestigious universities in America. And he's come up with a system of multiple intelligences. Now it started with 7, then he added 2 more, naturalist and existential. But existential often gets knocked off the list to 8. Okay, so I've added the 9th one. It's very similar to intrapersonal intelligence, but I've added the 9th one because I think leaving it out, it's better to add it than to not add it, even if you double up on some information. So the multiple intelligences up to now have been very much applied to education, primary school, and the promotion of young people's intelligences beyond mathematical and literacy. And I'm going to introduce each of the intelligences to you one by one, and then show you a list of the jobs that link to them. Now I have a questionnaire at the end with a block of 10 questions for each intelligence. So if you want to, and I'm going to show you each slide at the end of the video so you can pause it and use it, mark on a piece of paper or a Word document, answer the questions. So on the questions you might give 2 marks for strongly agree and 1 mark for agree or something like that, or no marks if not at all. And working out the points you give each question will show you where your intelligences or your strengths tip towards. Now I'm not using this for the benefit of education. This is for careers advice. Because as I've said, knowing your personality and your strengths and your intelligences can all pull together into a big picture to show you who you are as a person so that you make the right choices when you choose your next career. Now, the intelligence that I'm going to start with is naturalist or nature smart. I prefer nature smart because it sounds more simple and easy to remember. So this ability has been needed all way back in our lives when we were hunter-gatherers, and then when we turned agriculture and when we were farmers. Consumer society exploits the naturalist intelligences all the time, so food, consumables, safety and security. So you can see straight away what kind of sort of jobs, the sort of jobs that might be linked with naturalist intelligence. So it's about the ability to discriminate among living things and having the interest and the knowledge, knowing the difference between certain flora and fauna and animals, sensitivity to the natural world, not just an interest in learning knowledge about clouds and rock and tectonics, but a lot of people that are smart in the naturalist intelligence can actually read their environment quite well, and they know when it's going to rain by how the environment looks, or they know how what might happen tomorrow or how the weather might be tomorrow, simply by just looking at the environment in front of them. Some people are very interested in rocks and tectonics. That is an existent naturalist intelligence. I'm not even saying the right words. A passion to maintain, conserve or enhance nature. So you're very much nature and animal focused. Okay, and the jobs, not all the jobs, this is not an exhaustive list, but as you can imagine, the jobs that would be linked to the naturalist intelligence would be your gardener, botanist. If you're into preserving the natural world, a conservationist. If you're willing to go to university, a geologist, oceanographer, university again, meteorologist, university, meteorologist about the weather. Pop-ups is not what I need. Oceanographer, meteorologist, ornithologist, you'd need probably a university for that, but a lot of people learn that as a personal interest more than anything else. Ethnologist, wildlife illustrator, landscape architect, anything to do with food, even food and chefing, because it's biological at the end of the day, right? Then musical intelligence. So people with this kind of intelligence, or musical smart, or music smart, some people say. People with this type of intelligence are usually singers, um, um, play instruments, or you can tell somebody learns or is very musical often by, they drum on the table a lot, or they wiggle a lot to music, or it look like they're concentrating more when they listen to music. Because some people learn better when they learn with a rhythm, when they learn to music. I don't know, I found that my school revision easier to actually learn some of the concepts in a rhythm. So I have quite high musical intelligence. That could have served me in any musical job I'd have wanted to if I'd have put the effort in to learn what I'd need to learn for the music industry. But I feel that I have the raw ability there, and so may you. The ability to discern pitch, rhythm, timbre, tone, recognise, create, reproduce and reflect music, sing in tune, play in tune, know your notes. Sensitive listener to music, being able to pick up nuances in music and the differences in tones. And are your emotions affected by music? If your emotions aren't affected by music, then maybe music just doesn't affect you in the same way. Maybe you do just use it as a learning tool, but it depends how it manifests for you. So if music really resonates with you, you may want to be a DJ, musician, composer, performance artist. It's a hard thing to get into, and it can be very unstable, but it could also pay very well if you can get to the top. So it's very sort of insecure, but if you can make it to the top, can be very good, very make you a lot of money. Singer, songwriter, choral director, conductor, everything in this list related to music. And there's more than this. So if you really rate strongly on the musical intelligence, you might want to note this one down as one that resonates with you. If it doesn't, try the test at the end. You might surprise yourself. 3, logical, mathematical intelligence, or number or reasoning smart. So this is your typical school intelligence, your maths. So people with logical intelligence are interested in patterns and categories and messing with numbers, relationships between numbers and patterns and concepts, like physicists who can work out theories using number and mathematics. You're drawn to arithmetic problems, strategy games, very experimental. You've got an ability to calculate, quantify and consider fact, opinion and ideas. So when you're logical reasoning smart, you can quantify the difference between when something's a logical answer, when something's an opinion, or when something's an initial idea or theory. It's all about the logical proof and facts that support any theory. You perceive relationships, use abstract symbolic thought, sequential reasoning, and deductive thinking, looking at everything in front of you and thinking, okay, what does this point towards? Like a detective would use, okay? And complete mathematical processes, which is your pure maths, which would be used by people that teach maths, economists, accountants, anyone that deals with numbers. Totally. I mean, my other half is into computers and he deals with numbers all the time. So maths does stretch over a wide area if you have that strength and ability. So if logical number reasoning, write that one down as well on your big picture as something that you want to exploit in your job maybe. Jobs for logical, mathematical, very much you need maths for engineering, it's really important, and a lot of science subjects you need mathematics. Computer science you would need mathematics, and as I've said, accountant, auditor, purchasing, mathematician, statistician, actuary. So looking down this list, all jobs to do with finance, numbers and budgeting. But again, this is not exhaustive. There are many other jobs linked to logical, mathematical intelligence. This just gives you a general idea. Life smart. Now, this is the one existential intelligence that sometimes gets put in and sometimes doesn't. For me, it's very similar to the intra-personal intelligence or self-smart that I'm going to show you in a minute. But I put it in anyway because I don't like to exclude information from my research. So existential intelligence, or life smart, is about the sensitivity and the capacity to tackle those deep questions about human existence, like what is the meaning of life? Why do we die? How did we get here? Why are we here? So very spiritual, very esoteric kind of ideas. So jobs that would link very well to that, to people that have got that ability, would be counsellors, psychologists, anyone that deal with emotions of people, social workers, motivational speaker, most definitely, because they see all the underlying stuff. Own business, maybe a preacher or a spiritual leader, a philosopher, psychologist, theoretical scientist like a physicist, because you'd need those ideas of the big picture in order to be able to apply that theory in mathematical form. Spirituality, metaphysics. Okay, so if you are, you do feel you're high in the existential intelligence, write that one down, because even though they leave it out often of Gardner's intelligences, it is an intelligence that he brought forward as a possibility. And I still use it because I think it's useful. Interpersonal. So this is people smart, how you interact with others. So people with this kind of intelligence are leaders among their peers, most definitely, good at communication. They seem to be able to link and understand others' feelings and motives. They're quite good at reading people's faces and knowing what they mean and what they intend. That's the core of social intelligence. The ability to understand and interact effectively with others. Effective verbal and non-verbal communication. Sensitivity to the moods and temperaments of others. The ability to communicate with varied people and perspectives. Social smarts are very wide-ranging intelligence, and one of the more useful intelligence for the working world, because we all need to get on with other people well, but there are certain jobs that don't involve other people. Okay, so if people smart is high on your list of intelligences, then maybe write that down as a possibility to go towards more people-focused jobs. Or if you're the other way around and you feel that you're not people smart at all, keep focused on the jobs where you're working by yourself or working with your analytical mind, or maybe in small groups. This is all, with all these videos are here to help you make a decision on your future career. So interpersonal intelligence jobs, as you see, administrators, they talk to a lot of people. They're the ones that make all the arrangements and set up all the meetings for people. They might do the ordering. They might even do the money chasing or the money collecting. Administrators are a very wide job, but they have very much contact with people outside their organisation. Managers, definitely, they very much need people skills, otherwise people won't listen to them. Teacher, social worker, anyone that works alongside people every day. The study of people, like sociology and anthropology, might be a subject that an interpersonal intelligence person might like. PR, sales, travel agent, but travel agent, that's really fading away now. Most travel agents are online, and I don't see travel agencies as going to be a going concern in the future. But at the end of the day, it's still a job where you are customer facing. So this is not an exhaustive list. There are many jobs that are customer and people facing. Okay, so yeah, interpersonal intelligence is a good one to have, but it's not vital. If you feel that you don't have this helps you make your decision to go for jobs where maybe you have less contact with people. Nothing wrong with that whatsoever. It's all about finding the best job for you. Badily-Kinesthetic, so body smart. You're able to use your body with skill. You're able to manipulate objects with your hands very well, or use your whole body very well. There's different ways to use your body. Good sense of timing. A perfection of skills through mind and body union. So this could be whole body dancing, sports, good endurance, like say a construction person or a miner would have. You might be strong, have a lot of endurance, which would put you towards jobs where you'd be in strong, practical, skilled work. Or if you're more skilled with your hands, you might be more of a mechanic or a craftsman or a carpenter. This is the body smart, where you're using your body in order to gain success. So you can use a variety of physical skills. You've got a good sense of timing, strength, agility and technique. You know, if this is a high one for you, maybe write this one down as one to be considered. The jobs that would link to body smart would be your physical therapist, surprise, surprise, surgeon, using their hands and dealing with tangible things a lot, play worker, dancer, choreographer, actor, model, farmer, mechanic, anything practical where you're using your body with skill. Okay, PE teacher, even sportsman, forest ranger, anything where you have to use physical skill to get the job done, even cleaning, shipping, delivering, manufacturing. So body kinesthetic is a strong one for you. Note that one down. Next one, this is your other school one, which is English or word smart. It's word smart and logic smart that seems to be focused on in schools, and the other ones sort of brushed over, if at all, especially intrapersonal intelligence. So linguistic word smart. People with this kind of intelligence enjoy writing, reading, telling stories, maybe doing crosswords. They can think in words very well, use language to express and appreciate meanings very well, understand the order and meaning of words. They might be good at spelling, have a good knowledge of words, be good at expressing those words, good at describing, good at informing. Okay, so if you're in this list, write down word smart as one that you might find useful going forwards. The jobs for word smart, there'll be loads, because words and English is a basic skill. So it underlines a lot of things, but not everything. Okay, so librarian, books, archivist, curator, editor, book editor. You need to be very good at English for that one. Translator, so into languages, learning languages, translating languages. Writer, poet, novelist. And speaker, you can speak instead of write, so you can be a radio announcer, motivational speaker, going back to words, journalist, lawyer, secretary, typist. Not so much typist now, it's more done on computers now. We don't tend to call them typists anymore. Proofreader, English teacher, and then you've got all the things linked to the word smart, which is you're talking, you're telling, you're informing, verbalizing, learning foreign language, teaching, and being able to get an idea across with your words. That's the kind of thing. So if linguistic intelligence is high for you, then maybe make a note of that one as well, and a note of a few of the jobs that might take your fancy there, but that's not an exhaustive list, remember. Intrapersonal. I feel that this intelligence is the one that is least expressed in our schools, and one of the most important, because the intrapersonal intelligence is often the basis of our mental and emotional health. So it's no surprise to me that in this country and other Western countries especially, have an epidemic of mental health crisis. Because I feel that this country and others like us don't put enough focus in on the intrapersonal, the learning about ourselves. Okay, it's self-smart. So it's about learning about who you are, where your strengths lie, where your weaknesses are. And this kind of process is what helps you accept yourself for who you are. We all have strengths, we all have weaknesses, and we all would benefit from knowing ourselves better. But this is less represented, if at all, in schools. It's about understanding yourself, your thoughts, your feelings, knowing what you're good at, knowing where you will struggle. Use your self-knowledge to help plan and direct your life in the best way possible for you. Appreciation of the self and the human condition. So it's understanding yourself, and through understanding you can understand others, and you can accept and understand that we all have strengths, we all have weaknesses, and we all are worthy in this world. This is a major basis for mental health and mental strength. So your psychologists who support other people that need help with their mental strength. Okay. Philosopher, clergy, spirituality, spiritual leader, psychology or teaching, therapist, counsellor, anyone that helps someone to deal with their life better because they have learned the ability to effectively look after their life better by understanding why they feel the way they do, why they do what they do. It's very helpful for mental and emotional health. And it's, as you can tell by my videos and my Soul Explorer channel, this is my top intelligence, intrapersonal. Most of my videos are about learning about who you are and spirituality. So yeah, this one's a high one for me, and I feel it's always under or misrepresented in schools. Right, next one, spatial. So this is picture smart. Being able to picture something in your imagination, even spin it around in your head, look at the bottom and look at the top, being able to visualize things that you want to make or that you're going to make, something that you, so that you can make a design or even make something from scratch. People with this kind of intelligence may be fascinated with mazes, jigsaw puzzles. They love to draw, they love art, they might love mechanics, or they might love just designing. Even flower arranging has a lot of picture smart intelligence involved. The ability to think in 3D, as I've said, be able to think, picture a 3D object in your head, and to be able to spin it round and really look at the design in your own imagination. That's a skill. It's certainly not a skill that I find easy. Good capacity for mental imagery, spatial reasoning, image manipulation, graphic and artistic skills. So this one is also a very useful intelligence, which is represented in schools, but is considered less important. However, it still supports quite a big base of jobs. Like your engineer, you need spatial intelligence to be able to fix and design tangible objects. Surveyor, architect, most definitely. Anything where you're using your eyes to create a picture, to design something tangible, needs picture smart intelligence. Inventor, cartographer, sailor, pilot, fine art, sculptor, very important intelligence. But again, this is not an exhaustive list. This is just an idea of where picture smart or spatial intelligence could be really useful in the working world. So if this one's a high one for you, note this one down. Right, so this is the first of my list of questions. Now, you may have already decided what you are, or what your strong ones are from my description before, and that's fine, as long as it adds to your big picture of you finding the best career for you. If you're unsure, what you can do is I've got a set of questions for each intelligence. Now, you can mark it however you want to, but I suggest if it's I look for animal tracks and guess which animal it comes from. If that's a strong one for you, if you often look for animal tracks or you're looking for signs of where animals have been and you love to do that, you might want to give that a 2 or a 1 if less so, or a 0 if you don't do that. But these, I've picked these 10 questions for each one. And remember, these are only a general idea of what you might be, because I could have chosen 10 different questions. So these lists of questions are just to give you a bit of an idea where you might fall if you didn't intuitively pick that up as I described them. So if you look at the questions here, I'm not going to keep on each one because you can pause the video. So look at each of these questions. Open a Microsoft Word document, or open something in your Apple, or just get a bit of paper and a pen and mark down the points you give to each one, just write 1 to 10. I wouldn't advise you to copy down all the questions. It's too much work. You don't need it. So put nature smart, 1 to 10, whether you've given it 2 marks, 1 mark or no mark, and then add it all up at the end. And you do the same for music smart. Put marks next to each of these explanations, whether it's yes or whether it's a no, whether it's a strong yes or no, and if it's a no, just give it a 0. Okay, so 1 if you do it sometimes, 2 if it's strong, and 0 if you don't do it. Okay, so pause here if you need to. Then you've got maths and logic smart. So again, look down this list, give it a mark depending on how it refers to you, and pause this if you need it. Then there's life smart, do exactly the same, so I'm going to leave that there. So pause that for as long as you need it for life smart or existential intelligence. Then there's people smart or interpersonal intelligence. These are the questions for that. So take a look at that or pause the video. Body smart or kinesthetic intelligence. This is the list for that. Just pause if you need. Then word smart. So take a look at those, pause it if you need it. So do each of these sets of questions and give yourself marks for each one. Now this is self-smart, the one that I feel is underrepresented. So look at this yourself and think, do any of these equate to me? And then last, I think, is picture smart, if I remember rightly. Pause this if you need to. So what you should do then is take your marks from each of those sets of questions. If you haven't already intuitively picked up which of these intelligences refers to you and would be useful for you to know for your career choices, then use these questions. But remember, then the questions aren't exhaustive. They only give you a general idea. So use your intuition as well. I always tell my listeners to do that. Intuition is key. Intuition knows best. Analysis is always good if you want to, just double check yourself or be sure that you've understood the situation correctly. But yeah, intuition, a mix of those questions and intuition should give you a good idea for you to keep aside in your big picture. Because remember, when you've watched all these, watch the video on bringing it all together to help you build up a big picture of who you are in the working world. So if you've liked my video today, please click that thumbs up button. If you haven't subscribed already, I'm a new channel. I am a professional careers advisor and life coach. So I'm available to help you guys if need be. So subscribe to me because I'm quite a new channel. I need subscribers. Click the bell icon, and if you want to email me, you can email me at katie@careertalents.co.uk or go to my website careertalents.co.uk, and I'm going to put links to my Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn and Instagram in the description box below. As ever, guys, and as I've just gone on at you about, you've got to trust the soul within you. Okay, it's, if the career you choose is all about you and all about what you want. So make sure you're choosing a job that's for you. Okay, see you soon.